guys, welcome to Signal Path. Today we are talking about the EF-P2 spring reverb from Echofix. The spring reverb is this pedal format, incredibly robustly built spring tank that is as at home on the pedal board as it is in an insert or, really across your mix. If you heard the intro track, you would have heard this on the acoustics, on the rubber bridge, on the pedal steel, even some of the percussion. It takes to kind of creating a little bit of space and a little bit of energy for those kinds of sound sources really, really well. And it was just kind of an absolute joy to use both in line within the takes, but also as kind of a mix tool and something that kind of creates dimension and energy in this really interesting non-percussive way. But to get into what makes this special, we have a handful of controls that are all just tuned to give you a broad array of spring sounds that range from clangy and drippy, the way that spring, in my opinion, kind of should, all the way to very, very elegant and refined sounds that almost feel like they bridge between sort of a very, very bright room to spring. Like there's some kind of like ethereal things happening, and the dwell on this is so pretty and so well tuned that it covers more than I think springs are typically sort of up to the task for. But to go over our controls quickly, we have spring drive, which controls the input of the spring tank and kind of can create a little bit of distortion, a little bit of heat. And so when we ultimately process that, it's kind of something that just adds a little bit of nice sort of saturation and kind of, like almost kind of compression within the spring sound. We have a 2-band EQ for bass and treble, which gives us kind of a lot of different looks and sort of the capacity to shape our spring sound. And then finally reverb volume, which sort of allows us to mix the spring in. Additionally, we have the ability to turn our direct signal off, which allows us to basically use this as an insert if we want to, or as a particularly acute effect. And so with that sort of suite of controls, we were able to get a broad array of spring sounds that I think are really, really pretty. And by the end of putting this video together, it was kind of something where I wasn't ready to turn it off. Really, really fun. I'm really excited to dive into the sounds because I think spring has been something that is on the rise, but I think has for a long time been underappreciated as staple guitar tone. And so I'm excited to, cover a really, really incredible entry into that effect category and really the front runner in my mind. So we'll dive into the sounds. But before we do that, if you like this kind of content, it would mean a ton to me if you would go ahead and like this video, which just lets YouTube know to recommend this kind of content in the future, and subscribe to the channel to follow along. Let's get into it. All right, let's take a look at the Echofix spring reverb. I'm playing my Suhr Alt T Pro into the Una and Cali 76 stacked edition through the spring reverb and the rest of my board, down to the quad Cortex, all of which is being captured by the Hammock Audio Pre-Q22s, and it sounds like this. And here's the spring reverb. So let's talk about the controls. A relatively straightforward control scheme. Reverb volume controls effectively how much reverb is being injected into the signal. From none at all to a little bit. To a bit more. And this is about where it's at maximum. Additionally, we have a 2-band EQ that allows us to shape the tone of the spring reverb, and we'll touch on kind of those sounds in just a moment. But the other kind of, I think, and probably most important aspect of this pedal is the spring drive. Which is basically controlling how hot the input to the springs actually is. And this can make things pretty crunchy. It can make things kind of feel a little bit more aggressive and extreme. It's also how you get a little bit more dwell and kind of reverberation from it as well. And so this, in conjunction with the reverb volume, becomes kind of an important way to balance input and output, as well as choose what sort of character from the spring you want. Other than that, we have a bypass switch, obviously, and the direct on and off. And when we turn this off, that's just spring, baby. So now we can hear exactly what the spring is doing and what it sounds like without our dry signal. When I said we were going to get to the EQ in a minute, this is what I mean, because this is where we can really hear what the tone shaping of this EQ is doing. So if we bring the spring drive back just a bit, we'll leave reverb volume all the way up. If we bring the treble all the way up, becomes a little bit more brilliant. You kind of hear the drip a little bit more. If we bring the bass all the way up, it starts to feel more like a small room to me. It kind of is where a lot of the support of the reverb kind of comes in. If we kill the treble all the way, if we kill both, this actually feels like the most natural like amp reverb to me, having both of the EQs all the way down. If we bring the spring drive up just a hair, a little bit here, we can kind of add some support to that reverb. Just feels fuller and kind of pretty. You get that nice drip. I think that sounds super pleasant, but if we bring the treble up here into kind of balance, we can actually bring down the reverb volume and still feel like we're getting to kind of hear everything. It all the way and we get kind of aggressive. If we turn our direct off for just a moment here and crank our spring drive, this is where I think it gets kind of fun. It starts to get to this like kind of overdrivey place when you crank it. If we bring the direct back in, all four dimed out because why not? As you can imagine, this thing kind of likes overdrive. We'll kick on the Halcyon Blue for a second. And for those who are wondering, it completely does the thing that I think you're supposed to not do when you're walking through pedals like this, but if you're looking to replace your amp reverb or just kind of want something that's a new flavor, there are actually like a ton of, like if I turn this off for a minute, just so you can hear the difference. It sounds nice, but there's just something that is so like inviting and spacious about. Just feels like it opens things up in a way that is really necessary to feel natural and comfy, and for singer-songwriter things, for really like classic. Classic chords and all of those kinds of things. It's really, really pretty. This is something that I think I'm like a long-term stereo reverb and ambience user, and I have just really gelled onto this thing. It has been such a pleasure to use, and I think for people who just want to play guitar and not have to think super hard about getting a great natural sounding kind of reverb, there is just like nothing you can do on here aside from like maybe cranking it all the way. That might be like, it's not bad, it's just very specific, but like to get a great reverb sound, you can just like close your eyes and turn this to about anything, and that's kind of the fun thing about Spring. It's so short and so reactive that you'll find a way to play with it that is musical and beautiful, and it's way less like in your way than a digital reverb might be, because it's so tied to the dynamics of your playing that you have a lot of control just even in how you approach your instrument. And certainly Echofix and the team have really made this easy too. This is one of the best sounding Springs I've ever heard. It is in such a compact enclosure, and how many pedals can you punch that are going to make a fun noise when you kind of bump them around? I think that's always kind of a fun thing, and something I think would be fun at a show to add to a moment. But that is the Echofix Spring Reverb. Let me know if you have any questions. I think this is a ton of fun and something that is definitely worth checking out, but we will see you on the next one, and thanks for watching.